Hello, I'm Jennifer Whitney.
And I'm Thomas Drayton. We're here to talk with you about a very important responsibility and requirement in our California public schools, school site councils.
First, we want to welcome you as a member of your local school site council. School site councils bring together the experience and expertise of individuals like you with varying backgrounds to focus on the academic achievement of students in our schools.
As a school site council member, you serve as a valuable representative of the school community. You and other members of the council will be making important decisions about how to improve student achievement and how to best use the funds provided to the school. These decisions are put into a written school plan.
Throughout the school year, the Site Council monitors the implementation of the school plan and the budget. At the end of the year, the council decides how well the plan was implemented and what impact it may have had on improving student achievement.
School site councils are certainly not new to California schools. Since 1973, the California legislature has required site councils in schools that receive categorical or special funding from the state or federal government. The thought is that principals, parents, teachers, other people who work with students, and students themselves know what's needed to improve student achievement at their school. Most California public schools receive some type of categorical funding that requires the formation of a school site council.
The council is made up of the principal, classroom teachers, other school staff, parents, and in secondary schools, students. Members of the council are elected by their peers. At an elementary school, half of the council is made up of parents with children enrolled in the school or community members elected by these parents. The other half of the council is school personnel, most of whom must be classroom teachers. For example, an elementary school site council of 10 members would have 5 parents, 1 principal, 3 classroom teachers, and 1 other school staff representative. The size of the council cannot be smaller than 10, but it may be larger, as long as the group proportions remain the same. In small schools, California law does allow the school to waive the size of the council.
The composition of the school site council changes somewhat at the secondary level to include students. The legislature wanted to give students a voice on the council. There are an even number of parents and students on the site council. The minimum size of a secondary school site council is 12. This 12-member council includes the principal, 4 classroom teachers, and 1 other school staff member, 3 parents, and 3 students.
So how are people selected or elected to the school site council? Classroom teachers select the classroom teacher representatives. Other staff members select other school personnel. Parents of students attending the school select parents or community representatives. And in secondary schools, student members are selected by other students.
The principal is an active member of the school site council. Principals cannot assign their duties to anyone else and cannot have someone attend meetings in their place. However, principals have no administrative authority over the council. The principal represents 1 member and has 1 vote on the council. He or she cannot veto a decision that the school site council has made, including making any changes in developing and monitoring the school plan and the budget. For school site councils, teacher members must be classroom teachers who at the elementary level teach a grade level such as 1st or 2nd grade, or at the secondary level teach a specific subject such as English or math.
Other school personnel include administrative personnel such as vice principals, classified staff, including food services, office staff, custodial staff, parent liaisons, bilingual translators, media and classified instructional aides, or certificated support staff who support teachers in the classroom, such as a resource teacher, counselor, psychologist, nurse, and librarian. School sites should strive to have a rich mix of school personnel on their school site council.
A parent or guardian member is defined as an adult having a student who attends the school. A parent or guardian cannot be employed at the school site, but can be employed by the district at another site. Then there are community members who may seek selection or election to the school site council. A community member cannot be employed at the school site. Parents or guardians of the students attending the school would be required to select or elect the individual to serve in this position.
In secondary schools, students are participants on school site councils. They can be elected to the school site council in one of two ways. A student may run for election specifically to the school site council in much the same way he or she would run for school president, vice president, or secretary for a student body position. Or a student already holding an elected student body office can be designated as the school site council member. Current student body bylaws need to reflect that responsibility.
There are three ways to fill a vacancy if a member resigns from the school site council. One, hold another peer group election. This is time-consuming but may be necessary if only one person from the peer group serves on the council. Two, the remaining school site council members from the peer group may elect another person to fill the vacancy. For example, if a parent resigns, then the parent members of the school site council would select another parent to fill the vacancy. In this instance, only the parent members may vote. The whole council cannot vote for the replacement. The third option is for the council bylaws to designate the runner-up in the election to fill the vacancy.
Bylaws are not required, but they do provide structure and guidance to the councils. Sample bylaws are available to you. Your school site council should appoint a bylaws committee to review the bylaws annually to determine if any changes are needed. As a council member, you are urged to carefully review your council's bylaws so that you're familiar with its structure and information.
Agendas are a very important part of a successful site council. The agenda is a key document that informs the public about an upcoming meeting and the issues that will be discussed. It is the responsibility of the chairperson of the school site council and the principal to jointly develop the agenda.
Two California laws, the Brown Act and the Green Act, have some specific requirements relating to these agendas. Notices about the council meetings, including the agenda, must be posted in an accessible location at least 72 hours before each meeting. The agenda must list all topics that will be discussed. The agenda must include time for public comment and provide an opportunity for the public to directly address the council on any item, either before or during its consideration of that item.
A sample agenda would include, first, calling the meeting to order. A quorum of council members must be present at the meetings. In most instances, councils choose to set their quorum at just over half of the council members. No action on agenda items can be taken without a quorum present. Please note that quorum rules can vary, so refer to your council bylaws. Under California law, only the items on the posted agenda may be discussed. The law does allow for an addition or deletion of an agenda item in an emergency situation. If that's the case, all council members must agree to add or delete the item.
Request approval of minutes from the prior meeting. Members should review minutes before the meeting and offer corrections if needed. Hear committee reports. Committee reports from any of the officers, standing committees, or special committees should be presented. A motion should be made to accept or decline these reports.
Allow public comment. You must provide time on the agenda for the public to address the issues. Take care of unfinished business. Unfinished business is a section that includes agenda items that were not previously settled in prior meetings. Listen to any new business. New business includes new items or issues for discussion. And finally, adjournment. Once all of the items have been addressed and public comments have been heard, the meeting may be adjourned.
School site councils are encouraged to develop a calendar for the coming year and schedule dates for specific projects to be completed. Perhaps one of the largest and most time-intensive agenda items revolves around the development and approval of the school plan. In addition, the school site council must monitor the implementation of the school plan and budget. School site councils traditionally meet every 6 weeks. Your council may decide to meet more frequently to accomplish their tasks.
The overall responsibility of the school site council is to determine some of the focus of the school's academic program. Funds provided by the district for the day-to-day operation or general funds are not necessarily a school site council responsibility. However, the school site council does assume responsibility for many of those special or categorical funds that the school receives from the state and federal government. Something important to recognize: the school site council is not just an advisory body whose advice is accepted or rejected. The school site council is a decision-making body. These councils are the first step in a formal process of defining the goals and objectives of each school site within a district.
It is for this reason that it's especially important for school site councils to request training like the one you're watching now regarding their roles and responsibilities. In addition to today's training, members, especially new members, may need to have some extra training on assessments, budgeting, and program requirements. Please ask the site principal, school staff, and district office personnel if you need more information for your council members.
The council has the responsibility for analyzing and evaluating the academic achievement of all students at the school. This is the basis for determining the school's goals and objectives. Members of the council need access to academic achievement data for the school as a whole and all of the many subgroups of students. The council also has an obligation to obtain input from other advisory groups or committees at the school so that the planned program addresses the needs of English learners, gifted and talented students, as well as underachieving students.
Each year, the school site council must recommend a written plan for improving student achievement to the Board of Education. The plan must also include a budget detailing how the money will be used to support the school's goals and objectives. These recommendations are based on input from the principal, teachers, parents, students, and other advisory groups. Once the school board approves the school plan, the council must monitor the implementation of the plan and budget. It's important to remember that a school plan is a living document and can be modified throughout the year. At the end of the school year, the school site council must review the school plan and assess whether they were successful in meeting the overall goals and activities.
Some of the schools receive federal Title I funds. Title I monies are given to schools with a high percentage of students receiving free and reduced lunch. If the school is a Title I school, the school site council has a requirement to review the district's policy on parent involvement and make recommendations for change if needed. The council is also required every year to develop or make changes to the school's parent involvement policy and its homeschool compact. The Homeschool Compact is a document which identifies how schools and parents will work together to improve student achievement.
There are certain things you need to do to ensure a successful meeting. In preparation for meetings, it's important to remember to give all school site council members a roster, including phone numbers and email addresses of the members, a copy of the school plan, and a copy of the latest school plan review. Also include a copy of the school budget and a list of all the budget codes and expenditures that are allowed within the school. Site council members need to have access to the state performance standards and local and state assessments. Members should be aware of attendance data at their school and recognize that positive attendance affects academic performance.
A sign-in sheet is required for all site council meetings. Copies of the agenda and all related materials should be sent to school site council members before the meeting. Always run a few extra copies of the agenda, minutes, and materials for visitors attending the meeting. This requirement is part of the California Public Information Act. School site councils should use the agreed-upon procedures for conducting business, such as the common protocol following Robert's Rules of Order. Each member has an opportunity to talk and discuss agenda items, with members taking turns and allowing other members to speak.
As we mentioned before, it's important to cover only those items that are on the agenda or added to the agenda due to an emergency. Taking action on issues that are not on the agenda is not allowed under the Green Act and could negate the action taken. If questions or issues are raised during the public comment phase, the council must not respond. The council should only say, "Thank you for your comment," and continue on. If it's an issue or item that needs research or discussion, an item may be added to the next agenda, but it cannot be discussed or acted upon at this particular meeting.
Record keeping is very important. For audit purposes, the minutes of meetings must be kept for a minimum of 3 years. Minutes describe the council's discussions and document the actions taken by council members. It is important for minutes to show that conversation about the agenda items did occur. Members should come prepared to all Site Council meetings by reviewing the agenda, materials, and minutes from the previous meeting beforehand. This step can help the entire council save time and avoid confusion during the actual meeting.
Let's summarize your responsibilities as a member of a school site council. You must regularly attend scheduled meetings. You also need to become knowledgeable about the school's programs and assessment information. It's crucial to communicate effectively with other members of the school site council. Remember to review your bylaws on a yearly basis and review related district policies. Participate in any additional training sessions provided to school site council members. And finally, ask for clarification or more information if you need it, so that your decisions are based on up-to-date and accurate data.
Of course, there are some very important rules to remember. The school site council is not a management group, nor is it a policy-making body. The Board of Education is the only entity that can make policy. School site councils are not a political organization. They are also not a grievance committee nor a personnel review committee. They are not fundraising organizations, and councils cannot use existing funds to generate more funds. Councils are not an extension of the local parent-teacher school advisory committees.
We want to remind you that school site council members are representatives of a larger peer group. It's important for members to have an opportunity to get input from their peer group. For example, staff council members may use some of their staff meeting time to discuss proposed actions of the council. At high schools, student members of the council can invite other students to a meeting to hear feedback. The council can hold visioning nights, allowing parents to attend a meeting where the principal shares information about budget, expenditures, and student achievement. At the end of the night, parents meet with other parents and interact with the following questions. What do you like about the school? What would you fix or change?
If members of the school site council cannot agree on specific programs or program changes, they may request clarification of a policy or procedure from their district office or school board. In the event that the school plan is not approved by the Board of Education, the Board of Education must provide the school site council with written notification of why the plan was denied. Finally, any individual who is on a school site council has a right to file what's called a uniform complaint, and those forms are available in your district office.
Effective school site councils begin with effective training. The best and most effective site councils are characterized by diversity, individual preparation, a willingness to work together, a sharing of power and responsibility, and outreach to the greater community.
School site councils that use data for making their decisions and put their focus on improving student achievement end up receiving great support from the community. We know you will be an outstanding member of your school site council.
Thank you so much for your time and attention, and good luck.